What makes an elite manager an elite manager?
Lots of things.
Right. The reason we're asking this is because, of course, Pochettino was speaking about it in the first hour, and then Age yesterday was saying that he puts... You tell me what he was saying, because I don't want to misquote him, but he put Southgate in the list of elite manager for just man management?
Yeah, man management. He's saying, obviously, tactically, he could improve.
Right.
But I think, to counter that, what I did say about tactically, when you're England manager... like Southgate, and we have such a big following going into a big tournament, when he does make a mistake, it is kind of...
highlighted times 10.
Times 10.
Yeah.
Because you haven't got another game to get it right in a tournament. You know what I mean? If it's the one that knocks you out.
That's it.
Like, if it happens in the Premier League, you have a bad week, next week you might be able to do something different and get the result. With England, you get knocked out, like against Iceland. But with Southgate, he's made mistakes that people have been quick to jump on after the game's finished. But that's because he's with England. Now, if he did that every single week for a club side, he wouldn't last very long, would he? He'd be sacked within 4 months. But I think with England, when you do make a mistake, it's really, really thrown out there, and everybody talks about that one.
So what's top of your list for the attributes of a great elite manager?
I think
needs?
it is. I think, obviously, you need someone who's an out-and-out coach. Now, most coaches... when they're coming through, is someone who absolutely live for the game. They're passionate about it. It depends what sport it is. Football coaches obviously now get paid really, really well, don't they? I mean, but if you look at other sports, you have to really be passionate about coaching and a people person to do that. But as a manager, I think it's slightly different. I think you have to have a huge communication skills. I think too many of them fall short of that. I think that's the biggest one for me. You have to have empathy. For your team, and you create an environment where they can all grow. And it's not telling players what to do. I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of people make. It's not telling them what to do. It's providing players, Andy, with what they need to succeed. And you have to find out what is the team philosophy, what is the players you've got. Is quickly assess them and think, what can I do to this team? What can I help them with to reach the potential they could have if they play the brand of what's the best brand for them to play? And Sam Allardyce talks about this a lot. If he had certain players, he'd play a different brand of football, but he assesses the situation when he goes in and tries to get the best out of them and playing that brand of football. Right? And that is so important. And part of that is giving them those skills, is skill development, it's training, it's mentoring. And there is a lot of guys out there who are actually very, very good managers, but not probably good coaches. There's a big difference.
Huge difference.
There's a huge difference. And not many people say that. And I've talked about it on air. I think there's such a big difference, management and coaching.
What do you think the most important attribute for a manager coming in is?
Being open and approachable. If I can pick. Do
you?
Yeah, being open and approachable.
What about things like in-game management?
Your team,
tactics?
No, as a manager, the coach comes to you. They live and breathe the game, coaches.
I know, but when
the
that,
manager's
when the whistle,
got so many other things to think
I know,
about.
But when the whistle's blown and that match starts, right?
He's focused on the game, of course, but he's got the right people who he trusts at the side of him as coaches, and that's important. If you're the manager, it is so important you get the people at the side of you really, really want. You really want.
Yeah,
because
if you
you've got to trust them 100%. And that's why all managers, if you notice, most managers want to take their team with them.
Oh, of course
it's vital.
Yeah, but it's like anywhere. It's like here, isn't it?
Well, it's different here, isn't it?
No, but I'm saying if I got a job on like Magic FM, right, and they said you can bring your production team, I'd probably take Joe. I'd probably take Ollie. And then, I'd...
You toss a coin.
All right, Ed, how's it going? But you know what I mean? You would take people you're familiar with, people you work with, people you get on with, but that do a good job.
Your mates, you mean?
Yeah, but you would, wouldn't you? But they're your mates because they're doing a certain role for you and you've become successful because of them. Yeah,
if you've had success with those people, I think it's important. Yeah. And you find that a lot of managers do take their team. Sometimes there is a breakaway and there is a change and they don't. And it surprises everyone. Oh, you hadn't taken him with them. Oh, they must have had a fallout. It's like now with Eddie Howe, isn't it? I mean, he left Bournemouth. His assistant took over the job. He got the sack. And then Eddie Howe gets a job at Newcastle and brings back the guy who stayed on to be manager at Bournemouth and puts him as his number two. Yeah. So you trust people. They know how you work. They know what you want. And they get across your message to the players on giving them the best tools to achieve the style you want to play. Okay.